Welcome everybody to our Green Acres. Today's video is going to be over 50 ways that we can create some beautiful Christmas home decor to make our homes beautiful and cozy for the Christmas and the holiday season. I hope y'all enjoy the video and get lots of ideas and inspiration for your home. Y'all know I love to recreate things, and I also like to upcycle things that I, maybe have already worked on. In this little bucket I worked on last year, and I did decoupage paper on it. This year I want to do something a little different with it. So we spray painted it with our Critter spray painter that we got from Amazon. I went around, I distressed it. Just did a few little chippy places. Sometimes you can just do this with your fingernail, but it come off really easy. And I'm just taking a stencil, and this stencil pack is in my Amazon store in the stencil category, and I just put a stencil on it. And y'all, this makes the greatest little buckets for you to put your little Christmas trees in, and it just adds such a great little Christmas detail to all your little, Christmas vignettes in your home.
And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down.
Now I'm going to take a couple of items that I've had on hand for a while, and I'm going to put them to use and make some Christmas decor out of them. This is like a little wood round. I got it at the Target Bullseye area. I think it was $3. On one side it's white, on the other side it's like a little blackboard. It had a piece of twine in it. I took that off and I puttied up the holes, but later on I decide that I want the holes, so I'm going to put them back in. So I've had this IOD transfer for a while, and I'll link what book this one is in, but I think it's in the brocante. But it is a beautiful, huge, like vintage style clock. So I just love that clock face, but I never had anything that was big enough or round that it would fit on. So I thought this little round, it fit perfect on it. So I'm just going to put this on it, and then just to make it look a little bit more Christmassy and give it a little Christmas detail, I've also got a really bright red bow. Now this, I think, come out of the Figgy Pudding IOD transfer book from Christmas of last year. So I'm just going to take it. Like I say, these are just some IOD transfers that I've had left over, and I'm just kind of using my scraps. So now I'm just using a couple of items that I've had on hand for a while. I've put them to good use, and I've made some really pretty Christmas decor that I can set out now through the Christmas season.
All I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself. In a cabin out of nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time.
Now, all through the year when I'm out in thrift stores and at yard sales, I pick up Christmas decor. Even though it's not Christmas time, I pick it up all year long. I picked up this sled at a yard sale, and I think I paid around $3 for it. All I did was I spray painted it white, and that is all I'm going to do to this. I'm not even going to distress it, but I'm just going to style it for you and just show you how really cute little, sleigh pieces like this, they make great pieces to add greenery and Christmas florals to for the Christmas season.
Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself. In a cabin out of nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything.
Another piece that I love to pick up is little chairs. And anytime I see a little chair, I just can't resist them. And when I saw this little rocking chair, I had to pick it up. Now, I got this at the thrift store, and I think I paid $1.99 for it, or 99 cents. I just ripped all that little felt that was on it. I got Ben to spray paint it for me with the Critter spray painter while we had it out, and I went around and I distressed it. Now I'm just going to add a few things to it just to let you see how you can display something like this, you know, amongst your Christmas decor. And if you've got little, you know, little Santas or snowmen, these little chairs make great little display pieces. This is an old doll that was my mom's when she was a little girl, and I remember growing up as a small child, this was always in my grandmother's little guest room. So now I have this little sweet doll. But anyway, I'm just going to let you see some different ways that you can style this cute little chair.
'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out of nowhere, just us and no one else.
Another project piece that I absolutely love to upcycle is trays. So anytime I see trays out, I have to pick them up. And this wicker and wood one, y'all, this just screamed vintage to me. It was only $3. I think I picked this up at Goodwill. All I'm going to do is we spray painted it white, and that's all I'm going to do to it. Now I got the new Christmas Iron Orchid Design Christmas book this year from my friend Jackie at Ruth and Ruby. I'm going to leave all her information down below, but she sells the Iron Orchid design products, and she sells a lot of DIY stuff also. So I'm going to leave a link to her website down below if you're interested in this Christmas book. Now I love this page right here. It was a little bit too big for my tray, so I just clipped off the bottom, and I'm just going to make this right here work. And to me, this little tray now just screams a little hot chocolate tray. Now always, to make sure you transfer it here as well to your projects, just go back over it with that backing and just make sure you just rub it down and get a good, you know, make sure it adheres to the base really well. Now, like I say, now we can style this little tray out with our hot chocolate and our little hot beverages for the Christmas season. Another piece that I scored at the thrift store, Goodwill, through the year was this little postal box. It's metal. I paid $4.99 for it. It actually has some little keys to it. It actually locks. So it's actually like a real little postal box. But I thought it would be so cute to dress it up for Christmas. So we're spray painting it again with the Critter spray painter. And then we spray paint it with a couple of coats of white just interior paint, and then I'm just going over it with a sanding block, and I'm just going to go around the edges and give it some distressing. Now I went over these raised letters, and they distressed really well, and the edges distressed well also. So once I get it distressed, I'm going to show y'all some really pretty transfers that I just got, and I'm going to leave an affiliate link for these transfers down below. But these are absolutely beautiful, and they are more of the, you know, the neutral colors. But I love the poinsettias, and I love these little snow-capped pine cones. So I'm going to show you what they look like, but I think you get 3 sheets to a pack. These are very affordable, and they just come in sheets. So I thought this one right here was so pretty, and it looks so good against this white. So I'm going to put one on the front of the little postal box, and then I thought the top we'd embellish it. So this is another one of the transfers that was in the this pack, and I'm going to put it on the top. because there's different ways you can style this little postal box. You know, we can lift the lid up and we can add greenery sticking out of it, or we can leave the lid down and display it this way. It also has a couple little holes in the back to where you can hang it, you know, on the wall if you want to. This is the keys that was with it, so I'm going to paint those white, and then, you know, I can hang those with the little mailbox. But I thought this turned out so pretty, and I think these colors and these transfers are beautiful for the Christmas season. While I was out yard selling, I found another tray, and somebody had already started this as a DIY project. They had already painted it and started on it, and I guess they just didn't go through with it and finish it. Well, I just put one coat of white paint on it just to refresh it. I used chalk paint, and I'm going to use this beautiful little red truck. Now, this is in the new Christmas book from IOD, and like I say, Ruth and Ruby, my friend Jackie, she sells these Christmas books, so I'm going to leave her information down below. So I just applied the little red truck because I thought he would really pop against this little white tray. I'm going to add a little bit of greenery to it and a little bow, and that way once I set it up, you know, there's so many things you can do with trays. Of course, you can use them, you know, to serve food and beverages on, or you can also just set them up in your Christmas decor, and they just add such a pop of color and a lot of detail to your winter spaces.
It tingles in my heart, breathing air that clears my mind. I'm all for a good start. I hear those jingle bells, people singing about love. It feels like I'm a kid, like I'm forever young. And that's why I want to sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate.
Another item that I picked up for $1 is this little wood block. Now, this is by the company Creative Co-op, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with them, but they are on Amazon, and their items are, you know, they're up in the price. So, you know, I know they're very nice quality. But I bought this from my friend Steven at Steven's Antiques, and it was $1 in a little clearance booth. So I picked it up, and I thought it would be a great base to stick a bottle brush tree in. So that's all I did. I just took the bottom off my bottle brush tree, I stuck it down in there, and I added a really pretty little Merry Christmas ribbon, and that is a great base. You know, to think outside the box for your bottle brush trees, you can easily take the little store-bought bases off and add, you know, any kind of base that you want to, just to add some more dimension and height to them.
Forever young. And that's why I want to sing about the Christmas on its way.
Now, I recently went to the 39-mile yard sale, and this was one of the finds that I got. And I bought this from one of my sweet viewers. She had a booth set up, and she had some great items. It was $3. I'm going to flip it over and use the side that has the wood stain on it. I love the paint that she did on the front of it, but I'm just going to take everything off of it. I'm going to go around with my candle wax. Y'all know I use this method a lot. That way, when I go to distress it, my paint will lift off really easy and give it that chippy look. Now I'm going over it with some white chalk paint, and if you want a good paintbrush, this Klingon, I think this is the L40. This is a great paintbrush. I absolutely love it. It is a game changer when you're painting, and it's so easy to clean up. Now I'm just taking a little plastic scraper. I'm going around my board, and you can see how easy that paint comes off. Now I also got a new JRV stencil. He's a Santa, and I absolutely love this stencil. I'm going to leave an affiliate link down below of where you can purchase this stencil and the paintbrush. So y'all, I'm just going to tape him on, and he is, bigger than my board. So I'm just going to, roll up some painter's tape and put it up under my stencil just so it won't move and it'll be secured down. Now I'm just going to go over it with some Waverly ink. It's just black ink chalk paint, and I'm just going to go over him and do in black. Because in my home, I do a lot of neutrals, and I love black and white. But you could easily do this in red and white, or you could do it in red and green, whatever the colors are that you use in your home. Now, I'm going to take the little embellishment that was on the front of the board when I bought it. She just had a little piece of lace, and she cut out a little burlap flower. And then she's got a really pretty little brad thumbnail. And I thought this was a great idea just to add a little rustic but little shabby chic embellishment. So I'm just going to put that back on him. I'm going to apply him to his hat. And now we got a cute little shelf sitter that we can set out. And, to me, these things like this just add such a great detail to all your Christmas vignettes.
It's the time of year, winter wonderland. My winter wonderland. It's the time of year, my winter wonderland. My winter wonderland. I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate.
Okay, the next project is going to be another tray. Y'all, I love trays. So when I saw this one, I couldn't pass this one up. I think I got this one at Goodwill at the thrift store, but I just went over it. I gave it a couple coats of chalk paint, and I went over it and I sealed it. I usually always, when I'm going to apply a transfer to a painted project, I usually always go over it with Rust-Oleum clear matte sealer, just so my transfer will not lift up my paint. Now this is another Iron Orchid Design Christmas transfer. It is going to be in their new Christmas book, but I thought that red would just really pop with the white. So now we got a beautiful tray that we can set up for Christmas, or like I say, we can use this to serve food or beverages on.
My winter wonderland is the time of year. My winter wonderland, my winter wonderland. I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing. It's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here. My winter wonderland. Oh, my winter wonderland. Oh, my winter wonderland.
Now our next project is going to be another tray. I should have just titled this video Tray Up Cycles, but I just could not resist doing all these trays because sometimes I just get in the creative mode and I just kind of go through my stash and get my things. But this is a very heavy gold tray. As you can see, it's made out of some kind of plaster. I did pay $9.99 for it at Goodwill, but I just went over it with a couple of layers of chalk paint. I did spray a clear sealer over it, and now I am going to put one of my favorite Christmas stencils on it. This stencil right here is from Etsy. I purchased it last year and I made a lot of projects with it. So I use bits and pieces of it. Sometimes I just use the Christmas, and then sometimes I'll use all of it. So for this tray, since it's kind of a large size, I'm going to use, that writing at the top and also the Christmas. And then I'm going to add a couple of really pretty transfers. Now these are also in the Iron Orchid Design, their new 2022 Christmas book, but I thought the colors of these just went with the color scheme of my tray and also of the stencil. So I'm just going to apply these little, ornament transfers in each corner, and now we've got a really nice tray again that we can display up on a shelf. We can put it in our Christmas vignettes, or like I say, we can serve food or our little hot cocoa and or any kind of our little hot beverages during the holiday season.
baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I'm making plans of what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. Just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay. Maybe kiss a bit and dream away. And in a while we're gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire. 'Cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas.
Now the next project is a really fun one, and a lot of times at the dollar stores, Dollar General or Dollar Tree, you can find some really cute little ornament pieces, but we can also bump them up a notch, just use them as blanks and get creative with them and make them into our own ornaments. And that's what I'm going to do with this little bell and this little ornament. You just want to remove what they have on it, and it's really easy because that fabric was only adhered with a little bit of glue and it just come right off. I just peeled everything off and now I've got a blank slate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chalk paint it with some linen white chalk paint. I'm going to go over it and then I'm going to go around and I'm going to distress both of them around the edges, just using a little sanding block. Now, I thought these turned out really cute, and there's so many options now that you can do with them. You can decoupage on them. You can download some free printables, but I'm going to use the vintage label transfers, and I will also have these linked down below. But if you're looking for some really good smaller type transfers for your projects, I highly recommend these. I have enjoyed these so much. So I'm just going to apply a couple of them that I thought, shaped really well for my pieces. And, and that's all I'm going to do, just apply the transfers to them. And then I'm going to show you how easy it is. We can just embellish these little ornaments now with some little cute bows and some totally dazzled jewelry. And now we've got some really cute little shabby chic ornaments for our tree. Now for this one, I just took some tulle and I just kind of scrunched it up and I put a piece of little pearl lace ribbon. I think this come from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm going to add a Sola wood flower. And I'm going to have a link to Sola wood flowers down in my description box also. They're great pieces to have to embellish your projects. And then of course I had to add a little pearl. And now we've got a really cute little shabby chic ornament for our tree. Now on this one, I just made a little bow out of some flower sackcloth that I had. I just looped it and tied it in the center. And then I'm just going to add one of these little floral embellishments. You can get these at Hobby Lobby on the wedding aisle. And I'll add a pearl to this one, and this one is done.
Moment will fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents as long as I spend this day with you. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. Ooh, 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 ooh. And in a while.
There's two crafting projects that I absolutely love, and that's going to be hang tags and decoupage paper. And I'm going to have a link to the decoupage paper that I use in today's video, but I just found a hanging tag. This one was $5. I think I picked it up at Dollar General, and I think it was a fall item. But I'm just going to flip it around because I want that wood base. I removed all the stickers, and then I'm going to go over it with a couple layers of white linen chalk paint. And the brush that I'm using, y'all, if you want a really good paintbrush, invest in this one, and I will have it linked down below also. It cleans up really easy, and I absolutely love it. I'm about to order another one in a different size. But this decoupage paper right here was so pretty. I love Victorian Christmas scenes, especially with the Santas. So I'm just going to apply some DIY Liquid Patina. You can also use Mod Podge or whatever crafting medium that you prefer. And then once I've got the whole hang tag covered, then I just place down my decoupage paper where I wanted it so it would all get on the tag. And then I'm going to roll over it with a brayer just to smooth out any wrinkles or bubbles. Now, once it dried really good, I'm just going to go around it with a sanding block, and then I'm just going to remove all those edges. And then your edges are just really smooth and clean looking. And I thought this hang tag turned out so pretty. Now, for this one, I'm just going to add back the little beaded twine embellished hanger that it had on it because I really like those beads. So I just went through, poked the hole back through with a pencil, and then just added the hanger back to it. And I thought this turned out to be a really cute little hang tag piece that, you know, some inexpensive decoupage paper and a $5 hang tag. And now this made a beautiful Christmas decor piece. This next project, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a couple of ornaments that I got at Dollar General for $1. Now, there's nothing wrong with these like they are, but I love to use these type ornament pieces that are $1 and just kind of put my own spin on them. So I just kind of removed the letters, little wooden letters. You can always use those for another project. And I just went around with my little putty knife and popped those off, and then whatever was left, any kind of residue, I went over it with a sanding block. I painted over it with white linen chalk paint, and now I'm going to use some more decoupage paper. And again, I'm going to have a link for all the decoupage paper that I use in today's video down below. But I love these little Victorian ladies. I thought they were absolutely beautiful, and there's so many of these to choose from, different styles on this one sheet. And there's also some really pretty roses that you can add to your projects also. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can use the roses with these ladies and how pretty and feminine these little ornaments come out. So once I got, you know, my ornaments painted and they dried, now I'm just going around and I'm sizing down my decoupage paper of how I want it to fit inside the ornament, because I'm going to have, you know, too much paper. So I'm just trimming her down so she'll fit, you know, and then again, she's not going to go all the way to the top. So I will embellish the top to give it, you know, something in it so it doesn't look like it, you know, it's just empty. We'll add a bow and we'll add some embellishments. And I'll also show you how we can add some of those little pretty roses at the top just to send it to a different, you know, a whole new level. So again, I'm using DIY Liquid Patina to apply her. And then once she dries, then I'll show you how I embellish it. Now I'm working on this one. Now this one was easier to work on because it had less letters and they popped off a lot easier. So I just popped them off, and again, I'm just going to go around, sand down those little glue spots and get it as smooth as I can. But really, you know, once you add the decoupage paper, you're not going to be able to tell. Now this one I thought about leaving the border the wood color, but I just went on and painted the whole thing white, and I kind of went around and I distressed the edges of the little ornament a little bit just to give it more of a distressed, you know, old look. And now this one, I love this decoupage paper right here, this little tag. I think it's so pretty. So again, I'm just adding the liquid patina, and then I'll apply, you know, the decoupage paper down. And like I say, we're just going to add some really pretty embellishments to these. And these type projects like this are something really fun that you can sit down and do sometime, you know, when you want a fun little weekend project, or maybe when the weather gets cold and we're stuck inside. This is just a really fun, easy project that's easy to do, and you just, I don't know, you just can get really creative with it and have fun. So I just cut out a few of those little roses, and I put those down, and then I'm just going to add a little bow to the top, and then I'm going to add back the little, I just went with the little twine hangers because I felt like they were a little rustic looking. And then this one, I'm just going to add a little flower embellishment that I've had. I've had these little flowers for years, but they make great little embellishments for my small projects. And that's all I'm going to do to these. Hang these now on your tree, and I think these make some really pretty, you know, Victorian shabby chic ornaments. Now, I love to upcycled projects. Y'all, I work on my projects a lot of times, 1 and 2 times. But I thrifted this sign last year just like it was, and I put it in a video for my Christmas last year, and I left the jingle, but I showed you a way to embellish it. I'm going to flip it over on the other side. I just chalk painted it, and I distressed it. And now again, I'm using some decoupage paper that I had left over, but it had these 3 little girls on it, and I thought they were so cute. So I'm just going to add these with using some DIY Liquid Patina. I just cut them out, and I was going to add them to my board, and then I'm just going to go over them with a brayer just to make sure I've got them smoothed out and I've got them worked down on the wood really good. Now, once I've got all of these applied and I let them dry, now all I'm going to do to this piece is I'm going to embellish it with a bow. But I'm going to show you how we can add some detail to our bow tails. Like if you've got a long bow and it's got some really pretty tails, get your transfers out. Or you could even get your stamps if you got some small stamps and stamp something on the tails of your bows. This I'm just going to show you real quick. This is just some strips of some stained flour sack cloth, but I'm just going to take some of these little holly and berries, and this is from the IOD Christmas transfer book, and these were kind of small, so I thought they would fit really good. So into my little girls on my wood, they've got like some little reds and greens in them, so I thought this would go really well with the little girls. So I'm just going to go and transfer these on to the fabric, and transfers go on fabric really well. But just look what a great little detail that's going to add to our bow. Now this is a bow that I made last year, but it's just, a really rustic type bow, and I just put some greenery and berries on it, and then I just hot glued my little tails to it, and now this adds such a cute little detail to our bow, and it was so easy and fun to do. The next project is going to be a piece that I got at a yard sale, and I'm just going to flip it over. I thought that was a cute little side, but I just basically flip this over. I don't have to do anything to it. It's already painted white, but again, I've got this decoupage paper, and I want to use it. I ordered a bunch, a few weeks ago from a place, and like I say, I'm going to leave a link down below if you want to go out, and their decoupage paper is very affordable. But I just picked out some that I knew I would have fun, making some Christmas projects with. And so now I'm glad I have them on hand, and I'm just using them. So I thought she would be really pretty on this little palette wood. And then again, I applied her using Liquid Patina. I'm going over her with a brayer just to smooth her out. And this is the key to decoupage paper to me, is the brayer. But just make sure not to be rough with it. Just gently roll over it, because you can tear your decoupage paper. And then again, I went around the edges once she was dry, and I just used my sanding block, and I just smoothed out the edges and got off the excess paper. Now I'm just making a bow out of some ribbon that I have, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of greenery. I'm going to add that to the corner of her, and that will be, her little embellishment. And I thought this made a really cute little shelf sitter, or, you can set this out, anywhere in your home. And like I say, it's got all the beautiful Christmas colors in it. Now I'm going to show you a piece that I got at Dollar Tree, and I think I got this last year, but they usually have these every year. But these are these huge ornaments. Now these make great blanks. that we can use and just put our own spin on it. Now I'm going to flip it over, but I am going to take this little metal piece off the front of it because I want to add that to my back, because I do want it to look like a large ornament when I get the back finished. So that was all I did to remove it, was I just got my putty knife and you just kind of work up under it and just pull it off. Now I'm going to go over it with a couple of coats of white linen chalk paint, and then I'll go around the edges and I'm going to distress the edges with a sanding block. And I was so excited the other day when I went to my Dollar Tree. They had sanding blocks back in stock. Our Dollar Tree runs out of them, but I love their sanding blocks the best. So, just FYI, if you're in Dollar Tree, always look for their sanding blocks because they are great to use to distress your projects. So I just hot glued the little ornament back on once I got everything painted and distressed, the little ornament piece. And then I'm just going to take another piece of the Gilded Moments transfer. And I love these, y'all. And this gold and the silver, I thought it would be beautiful on this white. And also, just make that top of that silver ornament just pop. So now I'm going to add a little bit of French wording to the front of this. Just add a little bit more detail to it. And this is from those vintage label transfers. And remember, I'll have everything linked down below for you. But I'm just going to add these into the center, just to add a little bit more detail to it. That's what makes these projects so fun and unique. You put your own spin on it. You put on it whatever you want. If you like to do transfers, or if you like to decoupage, or if you like to do stamps. If you like to, a lot of people have a Cricut machine and love to do, cut out vinyl. That'll work great too. Now I'm just going to do a rag bow, and you just take assorted pieces of scrap ribbon and fabrics that you may have and put them in an X. Once you get some down, then just tie them really tight in the center with a piece of ribbon or a piece of scrap fabric, and then you've got a beautiful bow. Now you always want to just trim down both of your ends to get the bow down to the size you want, and then also just kind of poof it out and work with it. And I always love to layer lace and fabric, and sometimes I even put wired ribbon in mine just to give it a little bit more fullness. Now I'm going to glue the little bow right in the center, and I think this piece turned out so pretty. Now this next project, I'm going to call her Trash to Treasure, because I honestly had this put in the trash. And then I went back out and got it because I'm like, are you crazy? Then I can do something with this. But I bought it at a yard sale a few years ago. It's worn out. The little gold glittery stuff, it comes off. Anyway, I scraped off as much of it as I could so it wouldn't make such a mess. And then I got some little boas at Hobby Lobby. But I think you could probably find these at Walmart or, any craft store. They're the really small ones. And I think I used 3 for this. But I'm just going to attach hot glue in the places that I needed to when I got started and when you end. And that was all I did. And basically all I'm going to do is just go around and I'm going to wrap 3 strands of this little fur boa around my little Christmas tree form. And I'm just going to upcycle it. And now to me, I'm so glad I didn't throw it away. I'm glad I went back out and I got it out of the trash. Because this just goes to show y'all we don't need to throw anything away, because you can pretty much upcycle and refresh just about anything that we have. So again, I'm just kind of, as I go, if I have like some little bare spots, I just kind of work it down into those areas before I glue it. And I wasn't sure if I would have enough of the fur, but of course, as I got to the top, it got skinnier. So that was on my side. So I did have enough, and I ended up cutting a little piece off the end because I had a little bit too much. So this was a fun project. So, and if you don't have any kind of tree forms like this, any kind of cone trees to upcycle, you can always make your cone shape out of a piece of poster board. All you have to do is just fold it up into a cone shape and that will work just as good. But I love making little decorative Christmas trees like this and just put my own spin on it. Now once I got to the top, that's where you'll have to add probably the most glue, because you got to work around that little point. But that was really easy to do, and once I got it wrapped up and I got it covered, then I just went and I just trimmed it off. And like I say, I actually had a little bit left. Now you can embellish this, if you had, more little cone shapes, you can make more of these and just set these out and have like a little winter wonderland. Another great project piece that I found at Dollar Tree this year were these beautiful white little plastic ornaments. Now these come in two different sizes. They come in this large size, and they also have a smaller size, and you got 2 to a pack. So I got some of those too, and I hope to have those in an upcoming project soon. But I'm going to use the Gilded Moments transfer sheets again. I love these poinsettias, and I thought they would be a beautiful addition to these white ornaments, because the whites and the golds and the silvers, I think they just really play well off of this little white Dollar Tree ornament, and it's got the silver, top to it also. Just to give you a couple of different options of, add more color to it, you could add the gold or you could go with the silver. I decided to go with the silver since I had the silver top on the ornament, but you could, just play around with this and go with whatever works for the theme in your home. But as always, I just applied them, and you just burnish them on with that clear backing once you get them applied. And then I just added some, I think this ribbon is from Dollar General, but just with some really pretty little dollar store ribbon, you've got a beautiful ornament now for your tree. Now the next project is going to be a really easy one, but I want to give you some inspiration on something that you can do with these candle holders. A lot of times I see these out at thrift stores and yard sales, and they're inexpensive. So I picked this one up, and I'm going to give you an idea of what we can do with it. Besides using it for a candle holder, these little yarn bottle brush trays that Walmart are carrying this year, they come in 3 different colors. They come in the muted pink and an off-white, and also a little brighter pink. And I got some of these little trays because I thought they would be the perfect size for this little candle holder. So all I did was I painted this one white, and I went around it and I distressed it to bring out that black, just to give it a little chippy look. And then I'm just going to style it with these little trays.
Gonna go inside and drink our chocolate by the fire, 'cause all I want is to spend this day with you. Let me give you a Christmas, a moment we'll fill with love and joy. So beautiful, kissing on a mistletoe, baby, with you. I don't need any presents, as long as I spend this day with you.
The The next project, I'm going to upcycle a piece that I've had for many years, and it's this little mannequin. I guess she's like a jewelry holder. Before I had my YouTube channel, I already decorated her, but I just went around the bottom of her and I added some green garland to make her, a garland dress base. Now I want to upcycle her a little bit more. I want to paint the top white. So I just went around with a little plastic garbage bag. I taped her down and I went outside and I just gave her a couple of coats of some white spray paint. To give her just a little bit more detail, I added a scrap transfer that I had of some French wording and I just applied that. I added a little ribbon embellishment around her waist and just added some really pretty pearls. So just a great idea for these little mannequin jewelry holders that you may see out in the thrift stores. Just a little inspiration of ideas of how you can dress them up and set them out for the holidays.
Making plans, what we're gonna do. I feel so blessed that I can be with you. 'Cause God knows that I've been longing for you. I just wanna hold you close. You know the stars are shining just for you. Let's take a walk and we can follow the moonlight till we reach a place we can stay.
Another fun project that I love to work on around the holidays is recycling frames. And y'all know I always love to pick up frames at thrift stores and yard sales. And I picked this one up recently. And I think I paid $2 or $3 for it. Again, I went out to the graphics fairy and I just searched on vintage Santas or Victorian Santas, and they have a really good selection. So I printed out a couple that I really liked. And then I'm just going to get some school glue, a glue stick, and I'm just going to apply him to a little bit of poster board just to give him a little bit of structure, and then I'm going to put him back in the frame, and it's that easy. Now you can use frames that have glass fronts or no glass, and neither one of my frames had glass in them, and I'm just going to leave them just like that. So I'll just put him back in the frame, and this just makes a great little piece that was inexpensive but fun to work on that we can set out now for the holidays.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh, dashing through the snow.
Here's another inexpensive frame that I got at the same yard sale, and like I say, I think I paid $3 for this one. This one is, gorgeous. This already screams me. It's already white and it's already distressed. So I'm going to leave the frame just like it is. But I'm going to show you another graphic that I went out and found on the Graphics Fairy website. And I think I've used this Santa before. He's one of my favorites. But I'm going to do the same thing. Just apply a little bit of glue using a glue stick and then just put him on a little piece of poster board. And then I just, go over rolling flat with a brayer. And then I cut him out and I'll put him in the frame. And again, now we've got a really nice little piece that we can set out at Christmas, and these are great little pieces to embellish your spaces when you may need just a little extra something.
Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
And y'all know, if y'all have watched any of my videos for very long, y'all know I love to upcycle little horses and carousel horses. And anytime I see these, I cannot pass them up. I've done several projects on how I've upcycled some of these and made ornaments out of them. In this one, I saw it was 99 cents at Goodwill. So all I did was I painted it white, and I'm just going to add a really poofy little tail to it using some scrap pieces of fabric and ribbons that I had. I tied them at the top and glued them on. And then just add a hanger, and you've got a beautiful little shabby chic carousel horse Christmas ornament for your tree.
A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed to slide. We got into a drifted bank, and then we got upside. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Now I'm going to show y'all a really fun project, and this may be my favorite. Get some of these dusters from the Dollar Tree. I picked up 3 of them, but you can, just have, if you've only got one, that's good too. And we went this route to get them off because I tried to pull it out and I couldn't get it out. So we got Ben to get this big contraption and cut it off. But we realized on the third one, it was so easy to pull it out. So I'm not sure. So first, before you get the big contraption out and you clip it, try to pull it out because I think it will come out of the handle pretty easy. Now, there is really no rhyme or reason to this. All we're going to do is you want to go through now with some scissors and you want to give it a haircut because what we're wanting to do is you're going to want to shape it into a Christmas tree. So to keep it from looking so fluffy in a consistent shape, I just went around with some very sharp scissors. I think I got these at Hobby Lobby, but just go around. You want to trim some off the back, kind of flatten it out a little bit, go around the bottom, trim up the bottom just to make it look round. And then I just went in on the sides and I would just cut in some grooves just to make the Christmas tree look like it is tapering and it's got, levels in tiers to it. And then at the top, I would go down and just kind of cut that at a slant and just keep working with this. And like I say, there is no right or wrong on how to do this. You just, like I say, you just want to give it a haircut and shape it into a Christmas tree. And then I'm just going to style them. I did 3 of these just to give you more ideas of inspiration of how you can add some really little unique little stands to them, and this is what just really makes them and sends them over the top.
We got into a drifted bank and then we got upside. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Y'all know every year around Christmas time, I love making stockings. So I'm going to show you a real quick no-sew little stocking that we can make. I'm using some tea-stained or coffee-stained flour sackcloth. You can pick this up in my Amazon store, and also you can get a pack of these at Walmart. You can also find flour sackcloths at Dollar General. But I just cut out a little pattern of a little stocking, and you can make this as big or small as you want to. And then you just get 2 little patterns made, and you just want to glue them together. Then I left a little inseam so I could go around the edges with my fingers and I could fray them. So after I got my edges frayed, now I'm going to add some cute little mesh stencils. And I'm also going to have these stencils listed down in my description box. These come on a big sheet. You get several of these to a sheet and you just cut them apart. And there is so many really cute little Paris themed and little French little labels. So I really like this little stencil set. Now this one I applied using Waverly Elephant because I wanted to do like a gray one, and a couple of them I did in black. But I'm just going to show you 3 that I made in different kinds of stencils that you'll get on this stencil sheet. And like I say, I'll leave a link for it down in my description. And once I did that, I got them all stenciled and they dried. Then I just went in and added some little hangers to them and embellished them. Some of them I added some greenery too. And this is a little embellishment that I got at Hobby Lobby on the wedding aisle. And then I'm just, going to show you a couple ways of how you can decorate them. And then I just hung them on my tree. Now this right here is some new yarn that I just recently got at Hobby Lobby. Y'all, I love this. And I think it's called Truly Teddy, but it feels just like a teddy bear. Now I'm going to take 3 strands of it, and I'm just going to add just a little fur top to this one just to give you another idea of how you can embellish the tops of your little stockings.
I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. March without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sun said it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Here we go.
Now, using that same yarn that I just showed you, the Truly Teddy from Hobby Lobby, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a really pretty cone tree. Now, this cone form right here was from Hobby Lobby. It was a large size. It was $12.99 and I got 60% off. So while they were very inexpensive, I just went on and picked up a cone form like this, but you can also make a cone form out of a piece of poster board, and I will show you that in an upcoming video. But I'm just going to start wrapping this little soft yarn around the bottom of it, and I'm just going to put some hot glue in little areas just to hold it down to get my first layer started. Now, once you get your first layer started around the base, the rest of it you just start rolling it around, and you don't have to add hot glue until you need to. And I just tacked it, in random places, but you just roll it around your cone like this, and you just keep pushing it down to fill in any gaps that you may have. And when you get finished, if you have gaps that you didn't cover up, you can always go in and add some extra yarn. Now I went on and glued it, and then I'm just going to go back and start another section and just keep going around. And once you get the whole thing wrapped, and once you get to the top, you'll want to add a little bit more hot glue to cover up that tip. Get your tip covered up, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess yarn, and y'all, now we have a beautiful yarn covered little Christmas tree. I'm going to take some inexpensive supplies in today's video because I want to show y'all how we can make some really elegant gift wrapping embellishments so we can present these to our family and our friends around the holidays. Those little plastic ornaments come in a package, and those come from Amazon, and I will have them linked in my Amazon store. Now I'm going to take these sheets of some little Christmas transfers, and I'll have these linked down below, but this is a fun transfer to have. Just embellish these directly onto your gifts once you get them wrapped, or we can make some really cute little ornaments that we can tie onto our gifts just to add just another little detail to our gifts. And not only that, but the recipient of your gift, they can keep these little ornaments and use them to hang on their tree or just have them to save for years to come.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door.
Now I'm going to show you an inexpensive way of how we can wrap your gifts and add a really pretty bow. And if you don't want to go out and spend money buying bows, an easy way you can make your own is just by fabric. Now this is a thrifted comforter that I got, and got it very inexpensive at Goodwill. And all I did was I just ripped it in strips, and I'm showing you here how you can tie this on to your package, and you can get a lot of fabric out of, if you have something as big as maybe a tablecloth or a comforter, you get a lot of fabric. You can make a lot of bows. But I just went around the sides, and I'm using a big wrapped gift just to show you how pretty you can embellish a really pretty big gift just by using some fabric, tying it on, making a looped bow. Then you can add a lot of embellishments, whatever you choose, and I'm going to show you throughout this video of how we can make some really pretty tags, ornaments, and embellishments to really beautify our gifts this holiday season. And if you don't have time to make your own embellishments, little mini ornaments make great embellishments for your gifts too.
Heard before as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh.
Now I'm going to show you a really inexpensive way of how we can make our own tags. You can print these out. This is a free printable from the Graphics Fairy. You get a whole sheet of these in different sizes. I just go around, I cut out each one of my little tags. These are like the little postcard size. Now you can use poster board, but I love to recycle old cereal boxes that are going to go in the trash anyway. Just flip them over and have those to use as your poster board if you don't have any on hand. I take a good quality glue stick, apply your glue to the back of them, and apply them to your cardboard. I go over them with a brayer just to make sure they're flattened out and I don't have any wrinkles or bubbles, and then just cut them out. And now you've got some beautiful tags in different sizes that you can apply to your wrapped boxes. Now later on in the video I'm going to show you how to wrap this gift and have a cute little pocket on the front that you can stick in some greenery and add one of these little cute tags.
Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe.
Now I'm going to show you how we can take some little blank rounds. These come in a little scrapbook kit that I bought at a yard sale, and I got several of them in the kit, but you can find these sometimes at the craft stores. But I just painted this one white, and I'm going to apply one of the transfers on it that I used in the previous project. These little transfers right here fit really well on these little rounds, and you can just go to town designing and creating your little round tags the way you want them.
Saying ho ho ho, we're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face.
Now I'm going to show you another idea for these little rounds. Paint it white, and we're going to add a mesh stencil. Now I got these mesh stencils. You get all these graphics on this one sheet. All you do is you cut them apart as you want to use them. I'm going to use the little wreath, and I'm going to use a little silicone pad that I got. It is a game changer for applying your mesh stencils in your paint, and I'll have it linked down below. Once I got my stencil applied, I let it dry. And now I'm going to just get creative with it. I'm going to add some more detail to it. I'm going to take one of the bows that was on the transfer set that I showed you in the previous project. It's got a couple little bow options, and I love this little gingham one. I'm going to apply it to the bottom of my little wreath, and then I'm going to add some little holly berries to it. There's some really pretty little red holly berries on this transfer sheet also, so I'm just going to cut some out, and I'm just going to randomly go around my wreath and apply these just to give it a little bit more detail.
Every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard.
I also added a little pine cone, and I'm going to add some hangers, and now these will make great little personalized tags for our gifts once we get them wrapped.
Merry Christmas Day.
Now I'm going to show you how we can recreate some little Dollar Tree ornaments. Just remove the little metal top to this. It's very easy. And we're going to take again some free printables from the Graphics Fairy. Now once you get the little top removed, and like I say, I removed that with my fingers. It was real easy. Now I'm just going to use this little girl that I have printed out. I'm going to paint my blank white first because I feel like anytime you decoupage, it works better with a white background. I'm using DIY Liquid Patina to apply my graphic. You can also use Mod Podge. I'm going to go over it with a brayer just to smooth it out. Let it dry, and then I'm going to go around the edges with a sanding block and remove any excess paper. Now with a little bit of hot glue, I added back my little metal top. I added some ribbon. Now this makes a great little embellishment for our gifts. Now I'm going to show you how we can wrap a gift really inexpensive. Take some Dollar Tree wrapping paper. I got this at Dollar Tree last year, white, and they have it again this year. Make your little fabric bow, tie it on, and get some little mini tags from Walmart. They sell these several to a card, and they're very inexpensive. And these just really add so much to your gifts.
Merry Christmas Day. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas.
Another great piece that I love to upcycle for gifts is these little tags. You can pick these up at Dollar General or Dollar Tree. I printed out another free printable off the Graphics Fairy website. I applied it to my tag. Now using some Dollar Tree bows, you get 2 to a package. These are on the wedding aisle, and some Dollar Tree white wrapping paper. I feel like now we've got a beautiful and very elegant gift to give to someone. Now using that same wrapping paper and that same bow, get a little mini frame. This one comes from Hobby Lobby on the wedding aisle, and it is super cheap. Just add a free printable to it or a family photo, and now you've got another really pretty and personalized embellishment for your wrapped gift.
Merry Christmas, baby.
The first project we're going to work on is going to be a bucket that I got at Goodwill. Now I purchased 2 of these because I knew when I saw these back in the summer I could do something with this for winter and for Christmas. So I paid $2.99 for it, but you can pick up little buckets sometimes at Dollar Tree. All I did was I spray painted it white, and now I'm going to take one of my favorite transfers, and this comes from the Vintage Label transfer sheet. You get a lot of transfers on this sheet, and I will link it down below, but it is some of my favorites, and I am still using them. All I did was apply that transfer to the front. Now I'm going to put some little filler in it. I'm just using some little leftover shopping bags, and I got these cute little faux snowballs, and you can get these most anywhere also. I picked these up at Dollar General for $5. I'm just going to put those in my little bucket, add a little bow to the front, and now we've got a great little bucket of snowballs to set out in our winter and our Christmas decor. Now I'm going to show you another version of the bucket. I did it in white again, but I'm going to take these really pretty transfers that I just received, and these are called the Classic Christmas transfer sheets. You get over 25 designs, and I think the price for these are around $16. So you get a lot of designs, but these include birds, holly berries, a lot of, greenery, and you also get a couple little bows. So these are really fun to really add some detail to some of your projects. I don't know if you've ever used transfers, but if you have, you know how easy they are to apply. But you just, apply it. It comes with a little transfer tool. You go over it with the clear backing just to make sure it adheres to your base really well. And then all I did was I just put some little yarn Christmas trees in it with some greenery. And now it was that simple to just upcycle a cute little bucket that I got at Goodwill. I'm going to show you an idea for a piece that I got at a consignment store a few years ago. I got this really pretty reindeer. He's metal, and I've used him this color for several years. I want to give him a little refresh for this year. I went out, I spray painted him white. I went around the edges, I gave him some distressing, and just tied a little fur collar around his neck. Now he's got a whole new little winter theme. The next project is going to be an upcycled wall decor piece. My friend Steven at Steven's Antiques asked me back during the summer if I wanted this, and I said absolutely. So I'm going to bring it out, and I'm going to make something really pretty with it for Christmas. I'm going to take this piece of JRV Christmas Stag Decoupage Paper, and my friend Jackie at Ruth and Ruby, she sells this, and I'll have the link to this down below in my description box. But all I did was I cut out the deer. I thought he fit perfectly on this piece of canvas, and then I went around, I cut as much of the excess paper as I could off, but a lot of it will not show because I'm going to have a white background. Now I'm using Liquid Patina by DIY, and Jackie also sells this in her shop. But I just work in sections, and I apply a lot of the Liquid Patina onto my surface, and then I just lay down my paper, and like I say, I work in sections with my brush, and then I roll over it with a brayer just to flatten it out really good, make sure it adheres well, and this way it gets out any wrinkles and bubbles. Now I just went through, did the same thing to the top, applied the Liquid Patina, and just laid down my paper. Just be careful when you go over it with a brayer so you don't tear your paper. The next project is going to be a fun one because y'all, I love to upcycle sleighs. And anytime I see them at the thrift stores or at yard sales, I always pick them up, and I always save them for the winter and the Christmas season. This one had a little bit of glued on glitter at the bottom, so I'm just going to go in with some sandpaper, remove as much of it as I can, and then I'm going to use some white linen chalk paint and go over it. I gave it a couple of coats. Now again, I'm going to use this same little French wording stencil that I have in my Amazon store, and I'm going to use part of it and put it on one side of the sleigh. And then in a minute, I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can turn the little sleigh around and put on the other side. So I stenciled, I let that dry, and now I'm going to use these vintage label transfers, and this is how many you get on a sheet. And y'all, I've been using these on so many projects, so you get a lot of transfers for your money. And again, I'll have these linked down below, but they are some of my favorites. So I added just a little transfer to the top, just where I had that open space, and I added a piece of totally dazzled bling to it just to give it a little bit more detail. And now we got a great little shabby chic sleigh. Now on the other side of the sleigh, I'm going to take this sheet of mesh stencils, and I will have these linked down below. but you get a ton of different, assorted type of stencils on this sheet for Christmas. And also I want to just show y'all that I'm styling my pieces with the Bluestone cedar pick, and I'm going to have this link down below too. It is featuring these beautiful little blueberries, and blueberries are so trendy right now, but this is a beautiful piece of greenery. So if you want some really pretty picks for the Christmas and the winter season, I highly recommend these, and I will, like I say, I will have them linked below. So I added a transfer from the vintage label transfer sheet, and I also used that little mesh stencil, and I decorated the other side of the sleigh.
Old acquaintance be forgot, and days of old.
Now y'all know I love to make yarn covered cone trees, and I've made several in previous videos. This one I'm going to show you how to make out of just rolling up a piece of poster board into a cone and then just tape it up. Now I'm going to just secure the bottom part of the yarn to get it started around the bottom with some hot glue, and just go around and hot glue it in different places until you get the bottom ring covered. Once you do that, then all you want to do is just start wrapping your yarn around your cone, and you only want to hot glue as you need to, and you want to push your yarn down as you go as needed. Now the yarn I'm using come from Hobby Lobby, and it's called Truly Teddy, and it is so soft it feels just like a teddy bear. Now once you get to the top, just go around the top of the tip. You need to hot glue, where you need to, and just wrap it around, get your tip covered, trim it off, and that's all you have to do. These little cone trees are so easy to make, and once you've got your yarn, I've made 2 really nice size large cone trees out of one skein of the yarn. So I got, 2 cone trees out of, my yarn. So now I'm going to use another type of yarn. This you can purchase at Walmart. It's more, a real soft like velour feel to it. I'm going to do the same thing, but out of one piece of poster board, I've got 2 cones. So I've got a large one, and then out of the rest of my poster board, I made this smaller one. And like I say, you just wrap your poster board around in a cone shape. You tape it, or you could glue it if you want to, but the tape holds really well. And I'm doing the same thing with this one. I just wrap till I get to the top, attach some hot glue, get your tip covered, trim it off, and now you've got some really easy and inexpensive little yarn Christmas trees.
Lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet, for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine.
Now I'm going to show y'all a fun project using a thrifted silver tray and some Totally Dazzled bling. Totally Dazzled has so many new jewelry accessory pieces that we can use on our projects now, and I'm going to leave a link down to their website down below. But they have some rhinestone appliques. They come with like a little sticker back, and all you do is put a little paper off, and they will stick to your projects. This was the longest one that I had, and you're going to see I'm going to trim off the ends of it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 4 of these little appliques, and I'm going to make a Christmas tree on my silver tray. Now you can use any kind of tray that you want to. I'm going to just leave mine silver, and I'm not going to paint it or anything. You could, if you wanted to, but I think for the holidays, I love the silver, and I think it really goes well with the silver rhinestone appliques that I'm using. Now I'm just placing mine on my tray just to make sure they're going to have a good fit, and I am overlapping them in down the center. And then for the topper, I'm using a piece of Totally Dazzled jewelry. It's just a brooch, and all you have to do is remove the pin part of the brooch, and it'll lay flat. Like I mentioned, these appliques are so easy to apply. They have a sticky back, so all you do is remove the paper and you just stick them on your project. These appliques come in so many different sizes and different types of rhinestones. So I hope you'll go out and check out Totally Dazzled and order some of these because I think you will love them for your projects. And you can use these on so many things. Now I just worked my way up to my, my silver tray, just kind of place them in the center and getting them placed on my tray as best I could. When I got to the top, I just removed the pin off the brooch and I applied it using a little bit of hot glue. But you can use anything for the topper that you want, but I thought this just kind of topped it off.
Kindness yet for all lang syne, for all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne.
Next, I'm going to show you a thrifted rolling pin, and rolling pins are so popular, and you can find these a lot of times at the thrift stores, very inexpensive. I just take a rolling pin. I got a piece of sheet music from an antique store. I think I paid a couple of dollars, and I got several of them. And not to mess up my rolling pin or my sheet music, all I'm going to do is I cut it down to size for my rolling pin, and I'm going to tape it on the back. Now this way I can remove it if I want to and change it out. And like I say, I'm not damaging my rolling pin or my sheet music. Once I get it taped on, then I'm just going to add some decorative embellishments to it. I put a little greenery on it and a little bow. And this is a great piece to set out now in your Christmas vignettes, just to add a little bit of character and, just get unique with your decorations.
Should old acquaintance be forgot?
Next project, I'm going to use some scrap pallet wood, and y'all know I always have scrap wood around Ben's all the time getting pallets, and he cuts it up and I get the pieces, and I use them on so many projects. But scrap wood pieces make such great little filler pieces to add to your vignettes, and I love to make them for Christmas. And so I'm going to use the transfer sheets that I've been using in this video because the detail on these are absolutely beautiful. So I just painted a couple pieces of my wood white, and I applied that transfer to it. And now this one, I'm going to add one of my favorite stencils, and this one is linked to my Amazon store. I'm just going to use the Christmas, and then on the other side I'm going to add another one of the poinsettia transfers. Now these transfers are fun, and why I love transfers so much is you can get creative with them, you can layer them, you can really just create a piece of art with them. This one had a few pieces of like berries and a few sprigs of like holly. I just cut those out and I added those to my transfer just to make it a little bit more full. Now the third piece of wood, I just left it rustic and natural, and I just add a Let It Snow stencil. This is also in my Amazon store. I have a ton of stencils in my Amazon store, and I'm just going to go around randomly with some white chalk paint and add some snowflakes. And I think these little signs turned out so cute. And like I say, they were free to me, just, and being able to get creative and using some supplies that I had on hand, just, added some graphics to them. And now I got some great little filler pieces to add into my little Christmas vignettes.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
The first project I'm going to show you is how we can make a really inexpensive little fur winter wreath. You're going to need a wreath form. You can get these at Dollar Tree, and also I use 4 little feather boas that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. These were $3.99, and sometimes you can get these on sale. Now, I'm not going to use any hot glue. I'm just going to use straight pins. You just want a pin when you start, and you'll want a pin when you end. Just keep wrapping it around until you go around your wreath form. Now, I used 4 for this one, but depending on the size of your wreath form, you may need more, or you could get by with less. Now, this makes a really pretty little winter fur wreath, and just for a few dollars, and it took me probably 5 minutes to make this. We've got a really pretty wreath now that we can put up to get us through the winter season.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you, baby.
Another easy and inexpensive decor piece that we can make is going to be some filler balls. Now, I'm going to use different kinds of yarns that I have on hand, but these I purchased at Dollar Tree. So for very inexpensive, I got 3 skeins of this. It's called eyelash yarn. I'm just going to start wrapping it around my fingers until I get it started. And then basically all we're going to want to do is you just want to roll your yarn in a ball. Just keep rolling until you come to the end. Tuck it in, and that's all you got to do. No glue required. Now, I took some other skeins of yarn that I had on hand. Some of this I purchased at Walmart, and some I've got at Hobby Lobby. But just use various colors and brands and textures of yarn that you have on hand, and just roll them in a ball. And these make great little filler balls for dough bowls, and just like I say, just something that we can add to add a little bit of touch of that winter season to our vignettes.
Supposed to be making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close, forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories.
Project is probably one of my favorites, and I just got a vision in my head one day when me and Ben go on our walks in the mornings. We are just surrounded this time of the year by a lot of leaves. Now, we have different kinds of trees in our neighborhood, so we have all kinds and all colors. Well, I looked down one day, and instead of seeing leaves, I saw evergreen trees. So I'm going to show you a way that we can make a really pretty little piece of wall decor that we can set up on a shelf or even hang on a wall, but we're going to make them out of leaves. But I just took some various leaves that I picked up. I did spray them with a clear sealer. I used Rust-Oleum, and then you can see right here how you can just turn them upside down and they start to look like trees. Now, the first vision that I had for them was I was going to paint them green. So I took 3 colors of paint just to kind of mix it, just to get some kind of evergreen colors. But you can make your leaves and trees any way you want to. But I used Waverly ink, and I used moss, and then I used just a craft green paint that I had. I kind of mixed them just to get, some darker green color. Now for the trunks, I just used various sticks, but I ended up finding a really neat stick on the last day before I filmed this that I thought worked better, and you'll see it in just a minute. Now for the background for my trees, I just used a piece of Dollar Tree foam board. I cut it down to size in a frame that I got at a thrift store. I covered it in drop cloth using hot glue. Now I'm just going to cut out the bottoms of my leaves. This is when you're going to want to just start forming them to make them kind of look like evergreen trees. I cut the little twig off the top, and I'm using various sizes. The next thing I did is I took my Cricut heat press, and I wanted to press my leaves so they would be really flat. But when I did, it took some of the green paint off. So this is when I kind of started studying it, and this is when my project kind of took a different turn, but in a good way. I decided And this is what it's going to look like. So I just kind of want to bring this to your attention. If you paint them and you were to go and press them, it can remove some of your paint, but you could possibly seal the paint in if you want them, you know, painted green to protect them. But I decided to flip them over. I liked them after I pressed them, and I really liked that brown side the best. So I actually flipped mine over, and I'm going to do them all brown. And then the little sticks that I ended up using were just some flat little bark pieces that I found on another day when me and Ben went on our walk. And that's what I do a lot of times when we go walking. I'm always looking for nature and things that I can use on my projects. So I thought I just broke it in pieces and I just made trunks for my trees. Now I decided, I wasn't sure what kind of glue to use, so I decided I wanted to try hot glue first, and it worked out great. So the first thing I did was, once I got my trees placed the way I wanted them, I just went in with hot glue and I decided to glue my trunks down first, and then I put a little dab of glue on the top of each of my trees just so they wouldn't move and they would stay positioned. And then I just went around, once I got all the trunks and the tops glued down and kind of tacked down, then I went around with some hot glue and I just used dabs of hot glue here and there up under the leaves and where they needed to be pressed down. And that was all I did. And y'all, I think this turned out so unique. And this makes a great piece that I feel like we can set out for winter time. And it was so much fun to make. And you know, if you can get outside and you've got some great leaves to choose from, this project doesn't cost you a lot of money, and it's something that's very unique and it's fun to make. Once I got my trees all glued down, then I just went around with little dots of hot glue in each corner of my frame, and I secured in my canvas. Now the wall decor is finished, and you can set this up now on a shelf or just somewhere in your winter vignettes, and it adds just a great piece of character. And I feel like when people come to your home, this could really be a conversation piece. And this is something, like I say, I just picked up one morning on a walk, and it's just a little bit of nature now in my home.
I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time.
I'm going to show you another very inexpensive wreath that's really easy to make. Now I'm going to use all Dollar Tree products, and you're going to want to start out with a pool noodle. You just want to wrap it around in a circle and secure it really well with some duct tape. You'll also need 8 to 9 of these Dollar Tree dust mop pads. Now I used 8, but I did have to piece it together because I didn't have enough to finish it. So if you don't want to have to piece it together, I would recommend buying 9. Now I got the inspiration to make this on Instagram. I've seen several people make it, and they make theirs when they do the pads the long ways. I'm going to do mine this way. I'm going to show you how you can wrap it, but we will cut them. But when we cut them, that's what we're going to use as, you know, when we go at the end, when we don't have enough to go around, I'm going to use one of these pieces to fill in. So you just want to hot glue your pad onto your pool noodle and then wrap it and then glue that end down on each other, and then trim it. And then I did a few of these like this, and then once I got to doing it a little bit more, I thought it was easier if you cut it before you glued it. Now I'm going to tell you, this project's going to shed really bad. I had these little pad sheds all over my shirt that day when I got finished with this project, so you can see them right here, so beware. This is going to kind of make a little bit of a mess. But here you can see, this is when I decided I thought it was easier if you just went on and cut them and then glued it. But you can do this either way you want to. But basically you just want to work your way around the pool noodle, securing on these little mop pads, and this makes such a pretty little fluffy little winter wreath, and it was so inexpensive to make. Now this is where I had to piece together because I've already used up the 8 that I had. So that's what I was saying. If you want enough to go all the way around and not have to piece it, I would get 9 little pads. But I had enough of the pieces. I just kind of filled them in where I needed to with the hot glue, and you can never tell it. So now we've got a great piece. I just added a bow that I made out of some ripped fabric, and I added a piece of totally dazzled bling to it. And now we've got a beautiful large wreath that we can display through the winter season.
But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart, and I can promise Santa's coming to visit.
Now this project is also another really easy one, and it's very inexpensive. You just take an empty paint can, and if you're like me, I saved these because they make great project pieces. So this is just a paint can that the paint ran out, and I just removed the label. Now we've got a great piece that we can paint, and we can use this. I'm going to show you how we can use both sides of this paint can. So I just removed the label. I went over it with a couple of coats of white chalk paint, and I'm going to add a transfer. But before I do, I'm going to seal it with DIY Liquid Patina so my transfer will adhere to my paint okay. Because using transfers, you always want to seal your base, because if not, sometimes the transfer can lift up your paint. Now this is from the vintage label transfer sheet, and y'all, this is some of my favorite transfers. And I will definitely have these linked down below. So if you're looking for some really pretty transfers to use, you get a bunch of these on a sheet, and they are some of my favorites. I've already ordered another sheet of these. Now I just take my fingernail, since we've got a black base, I'm just going around and scraping with my fingernail and giving it a little bit of distressing and a little bit of that worn look. Now y'all know I love to decorate both sides of a decor piece. So on the other side, so we can flip it around if we want to, I'm going to add this little mesh stencil. This is the Bon Bon Bunny. I will have this mesh stencil linked below. You get several designs on this sheet of a mesh stencil. You just cut them apart, but they're all bunny related, and I love this. And you can see the painter's tape took off some of my white paint because I did not seal that side, but that's okay because I'm going for a distressed look. So now we've got a great little inexpensive bucket that we can fill with winter greenery, or just, you know, whatever you want to fill it with for the winter season. First, I took a Dollar Tree pool noodle. I'm going to take some duct tape. You just want to wrap it in a circle, and when where it meets, you just want to wrap some duct tape around it and keep it very secure. This is going to be our wreath form. So for $1.25, we've got a very inexpensive large wreath form. Now I'm going to take some feather boas. You can purchase these either at Hobby Lobby if you can find them, but I could not find them in the color that I desired when I went shopping. So I ordered these on Amazon, and I will have these linked in my store. Now these are large boas, and they're very fluffy. Now I got one in white, and I also got one in champagne because I'm going to do this wreath into, a couple of tones just to add a little bit more detail to it. I wrap the first one around, and all I'm doing is using straight stick pins. That way I can remove the boas anytime I want to, and I haven't damaged my boas nor my wreath form. And all you do is you just pin them at each end, wrap them, and then pin when you get finished. Now this makes a beautiful, fluffy, feathery wreath, and you can leave this out pretty much all year long, and especially during the winter.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old?
Okay, y'all, we are at the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed seeing all the ways that we can make some really easy home decor for our homes for the holiday season. I hope y'all will subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Please like the video if you did, and also leave me a comment and let me know what you enjoyed the most. I hope you will go over and check out my new channel, Teresa Greene. We are over there updating a new home that we previously purchased, and we are doing a lot of things over there on that channel. So make sure to go over, subscribe, and watch the videos there also. And I will see all of y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.